last week, we talked about how there was an Islamic Jihad field report that was posted that the fighters explained that they had used a unexploded Israeli bomb that was sent. This is what the message said. It said, "In a complex engineering operation, we trapped a Zionist force in a precise ambush inside a building that was booby-trapped using an F-16 missile launched by the enemy towards civilian homes. It did not explode. Our engineers worked to activate it and detonate it in the vicinity of the Dawla Junction south of the 𝐓𝐡𝐞 neighborhood in Gaza City." And we reported just on that field report, but the next day after our show, Islamic Jihad released a video of that operation. So maybe we can go to number 1 here, Tamara. So this is you can see here, we're looking at video from a building nearby. We can see an Israeli soldier outside of a Merkava tank. And Islamic Jihad identifies that as that building as an Israeli position during the Battle of Zaytun. This has been a 2-week operation where Israel reinvaded Gaza City. Zaytun is one of the busiest neighborhoods in Gaza City, and one of the areas that the Israelis claimed that they had operational control over months ago, but we've shown you week after week on this show that that's not the case. And you see the beginning of this complex operation. An RPG is fired at the building with the Israeli force in it. And then we can see here the F-16 missile is detonated in a massive explosion of the size that we have not seen before, and gives you a sense of both what it's like when these bombs are dropped on Palestinian civilians, as they have been throughout the war, but the impact of the fact that the Israelis have carried out 30,000 airstrikes using fighter jets, dropping munitions like this. So the names of these bombs, they get different names depending on the guidance system that they're using or which country is using them. But essentially, there's 3 types of bombs that are being dropped on Palestinians. There's Mark II, Mark III, and Mark IV bombs. The Mark II is 500 pounds, the Mark III is 1,000 pounds, and the Mark IV is 2,000 pounds. In each of these weapons, in the 500-pound bomb, there's more than 200 pounds of high explosives inside the munition. In the 1,000-pound bombs, there's 500 pounds of high explosives. And the 2,000-pound bombs have 950 pounds of high explosives. Now, all of these bombs that are being dropped on Gaza have a certain dud rate. The numbers are kept classified, but we know that that the bombs, although they've been proved in recent years, going back into previous decades, the dud rate can be as much as 1/3 of the weapons. And so even if you're correcting that statistic, what we're seeing happening in Gaza right now is scores, many, if not hundreds of these unexploded bombs that are all throughout civilian areas. And because of the size of the bombs, they can't be moved by hand. They require heavy equipment to move the unexploded ordnance. So what we're seeing here is Islamic Jihad actually not moving the bomb, re-engineering to explode the munition. And the Israelis admitted casualties on this operation that I reported last week, where they said that there was at least 7 injured and at least 2 additional killed. Both a platoon commander and a company commander were killed in this operation. So this is the first we've seen of a missile be reused in this way. We've seen field reports of them being used, but this is the first time that we've seen the weapon detonated like this. But this is a clue about what is coming for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, because there are these dud bombs throughout the Gaza Strip that can be then reappropriated by the resistance and sent back to Israelis, which is something that we have seen in the past since Operation Cast Lead after Cast Lead in 2008, 2009. The Qassam brigades and Hamas set up an unexploded ordnance unit that went around and collected these weapons because they have to be removed from houses before people can move back into their homes, or construction can happen in their homes. So there's a massive cleanup, a dangerous cleanup effort ahead in the Gaza Strip. But each of these weapons can be then used by the resistance. Really, we're looking at a generation of capacity that's being dropped on Gaza and unexploded. And just to give you a sense of how many of these, we saw in the congressional testimony the other day by the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, in that congressional hearing where he said that more than 25,000 women and children have been killed in Gaza, according to American intelligence numbers. At that same hearing, we learned that 21,000 bombs had been sent to Israel since October 7th, just since October 7th, 21,000. And we know that according to the Israelis, there's been 29,000 airstrikes using these munitions on Gaza. So just a little cause and effect there of the direct relationship between American weapons and the catastrophe that's happening in the Gaza Strip right now. So
thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, hit like, leave a comment. These engagements help us with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps us to get around Silicon Valley censorship as much as possible. It does make a difference. You can also support our journalism by going to electronicintifada.net and clicking on donate now. Thank you.